chambers of those who failed to keep their pledge. This week I feel I would stop taking medication for I am feeling very well now. I want to thank people that had prayed for me in this difficult period of recovery from poisoning. May the Lord bless you greatly. It was really tough. I decided to stand here and deliver the message the Lord had put in my heart. If you love me, I want to ask you to carry your cross and join me in the suffering for the Lord. Some people wrote to me, how come a servant of God like you is poison? But the truth is evil fall on the righteous and the Lord always deliver them. If you love God, you will go through tests and trials. We must keep trust in the Lord. I cannot hate those who poison me and my wife on our wedding day. I have the obligation of loving them, for love surpassed all thing. I could not die of that poisoning because I had not finished the 251 chambers of hell, and I cannot die and the devil cannot kill me until my mission is completed. I was overwhelmed by this poison. The Lord told me you will continue this race. This is not the time for you to go. No, I will continue from where I left. I will talk about the chambers of those who don't keep their pledge. Number 30 verse 2. Life is made of principle that men are supposed to keep, and men are supposed to be held accountable before their own word. After visiting the chambers of hell where I saw people that bleach their skin, then the Lord took me back home. I was crying because of things that I had seen. The following day the Lord came and transported me again to the chamber of hell. Every journey to the underworld was a continuity from where we had left. The Lord spent time to explain to me about the architecture of hell and the pain of damned souls that populate this place. These souls were begging God mercy and asking the Lord to deliver them. Yet the Lord kept saying, too late, the judgment has fallen. We left for that chambers of people that bleach their skin, and we were moving in a dark and tiny channel. An intense darkness was coming from where we were heading. I was hearing cries of lost souls coming from this volcanic region, where I saw rain of fire ravaging and watering souls with more pain. As we moved close to this place, we met a crowds of demons. They were mobilized for an expedition. They were moving in the very direction we were heading to. They have all the instrument of torture that they use in this place. We finally arrived before a crossroad where there were 4 tunnels leading to 4 chambers of hell. There was hot mud in these directions. We took the left direction up to the end of the tunnel, where I saw a prison gate. There were numbers written on it. There was an inscription that said the chambers of those who did not keep their commitment and pledge. It was scary, and I said, even these things lead to hell. The gate was pleasing were in such wickedness. The Lord said, the time of settling account has come. Tell my people to arrange their ways. Whatever people do on the earth, they will give account to the Creator. My dear brother, you want to enjoy this life, you must know that death is calling, and one day we shall face the judgment of the Lord. Then we finally got in this chambers of hell. The Lord said, over here you shall see great torment that you will never see. My brother, whatever I saw here was unbearable, for the punishment was beyond human reasoning. I cannot find appropriate vocabulary to express pain that I saw in this place, for it was beyond human reason. I saw fire coming from all directions. Fire was rising and producing light. Bright and hail were falling. It was a painful horror to behold. Damned souls were crying bitterly. The Lord said, all these people that you have seen have committed diverse sin. And he showed me the list on the board.
KATY-PERRY
The first sin was
Unstoppable.
those who don't keep their commitment. Then those who abuse the trust given to them.
Ruth Lee, where's the Katie Hudson?
Their words, for they did not keep what
KATY-PERRY
they said.
Unstoppable, Katie Hudson.
Do not respect the deadline of their commitment. Those who have give up on assuming their responsibility, they fail to do their task. All these sins were written on a rock that was burning. After reading the list, we turned around to observe the landscape. I saw numerous souls of men in the flame, and they were chained all over their body. These people that have lived on the earth like you and me, some were seated on the ground, others were in pit of fire. They were covered by fire, and they screamed intensely, and there was no way to breath in this fire. They were begging for God mercy, and the sound of their voices was disturbing, for they pierced my ears. The torment was terrible. I saw a man in torment with a chain on his neck. It was big. Demons had pierced his tongue, and they have introduced a chain in his tongue, and they were pulling him all over the place. His torment was unbearable, and I saw hail falling on him. All these souls were tormented by demons. This was the worst torment I have ever seen in hell. They were begging the Lord. This man said to the Lord, my torment is unbearable. The man kept saying, Lord, my torment is unbearable. The Lord looked at him with mercy and empathy and told him, you have abused the trust that was given to you. You had people who trusted you. He told the Lord, but I will turn their back and they do nothing. The Lord said to him, I am the one who weigh the ways of men. Then the Lord looked at me and said, you see this young man? His brother had no one to take care of his place when he always go to work, and he called him to come and look after his place. But he took an opportunity to call his friend and tell his friend to have sex in the bed of his brother. He committed all kind of debauchery. When his brother caught him in the act with his girlfriends, he rebuked him with anger. This man humbled himself and apologized, promising not to do it again. His brother told him, I forgive you, but don't profit from my absence to make my house a place where you will commit evil, and don't bring your girl's friends here. This man made a commitment not to do it again. He gave his word to his brother, but he failed to keep his word, for he kept bringing his girlfriend despite his words to his brother. He broke his pledge, and when he died he fell in this place. He was in torment with millions of souls that broke their pledge. Brother, we must be very careful, for on the day of judgment people will give account for all empty words that they have spoken. Through your word you will be justified and condemned. After this man there was another soul that was crying. He had a chain on his leg. There was money that was condemning him and claiming justice. For in hell everything talk and
Yes, yes.
how did these souls end? The Lord said, when this man was on the land, he was making promises all the times to people, but he was failing to fulfill his promise. He promised money to a lot of people. When you are unable to keep your promise, don't say vain words. That will serve as evidence of your condemnation. This man was promising money and he was failing to fulfill the promise. The Lord showed me a man called Mika, from the African country of Guinea. I said, Lord, what has he done? The Lord said, this man was a member of the church where the pastor was making a call for donation, for the church was to be built. Many people stepped forward to get an envelope. He also went forward and took an envelope. He has accepted the commitment that was supposed to be met in a period of 3 months. However, he faced difficulty in his business. He was unable to meet his pledge and he was unable to meet the deadline. My brother, if you are in this situation, where you have been in many churches, where you took envelope and made pledge, you made useless commitment in different churches knowing that you have no capacity to fulfill them, you've got to confess. This man failed to meet the pastor and tell him that he had trouble in his business so that he can pay after the deadline. He never done that. He said to himself in his heart, the deadline has already passed. We can forget about it. One day he was struck by sickness and died. Demon of reclamation came, and they captured his soul to hell. I saw how he was begging Jesus to save him. His soul was covered with fire and he was skeletal. He covered with worms. The Lord said to me, tell my people to be careful. They must not take sacred commitment lightly. Deuteronomy 23. But if you refrain from making a vow, you will not be guilty of sin. Be careful to follow through on what comes from your lips, because you have freely vowed to the Lord your God with your own mouth. My brother, as far as the eyes could see, I saw a soul that was in torment. He kept saying, I forgot to do, I forgot, and he cried bitterly, for he was tormented by a group of demons. I heard the chief of demons say to him, we are doing this to you to remind you your pledge, so that you will not forget next time, when you make a pledge, when you will return to earth. They said this to mock him. The torment was so scary that I held the Lord's hand strongly. I said, Lord, what has he done? The Lord said, he promised to buy a guitar for his church. He said to the pastor, I will buy the church a guitar if your God hear my prayer. For my sister is in Europe and she has promised
Lord, I
to
repent for all the guarantee the promise I can't not keep. I'll do my best to do something, or try to do something.
Europe, he failed to buy the church the guitar. I saw that the guitar that was attached on his soul. The Lord said, tell my people to deal with their pledge. Tell them to always fulfill their sacred commitment. The pain inflicted on these souls by demons was inexplicable. The Lord showed me a woman in torment. The Lord said, she took a commitment to pay tithe, and he was sending his tithe to the pastor every month. She was faithful in her commitment. Then she began to encounter financial trouble. She called the pastor for prayer, but the latter did not come for he was busy. Since the pastor could not come to her place, nevertheless he was praying for her. And despite the fact that the pastor did not come, this sister prayed by herself. The sister did not know that the pastor was praying for her at home, but the lady said to herself, I am sending him tithe every month, but when I need his support in prayer he won't help me with prayer. From now on, I will not send him tithe anymore. She decided not to give tithe anymore, yet the pastor was praying for her. When she died she fell here. I saw demon tormenting. The cries of lost soul in torment was unbearable. I heard a man who was crying. The Lord said to him, look at the place you have fallen. You were making so many promises to people, giving them hope, but you have failed to keep your promise. I rebuke you through your consciousness, telling you to avoid dishonesty. If only you could hear my voice. The man said, Lord, I understand and I repent. The Lord said, it's too late. Every man will bear the weight of his sin. The body that contains sin will suffer and will be burned by the fire of hell. Then I saw another man in the torment. The Lord said, one day his friend came to visit him, for he needed money, and he promised to give his friend $600. When the money was available, he informed his wife that he was about to lend his friend $600. As soon as his wife learned that news, she opposed him, and he preferred to listen to his wife despite the pledge he made to his friend. Yet his friend was in need. I tried to tell him to keep his promise to his friend, but he ignored my voice. Then he died and he came here in this place of humiliation, for he humiliated his friend. I could see millions of souls in their pit in this place. It was then I saw demon of hell that were dressed like doctor, nurse, mechanic. They were dressed like workers and employees of company. They transported countless souls of men and they made them sit on burning stones that were burning them. A man was made to see on a rock that had a hole and his feet was buried in the fire and lava was consuming him. He was consumed in fire. I heard these demons saying to these souls, today you will suffer for everything that you have stolen in your workplace. I heard a soul saying to demon, please take this wheel lock and give it back to my employer. The demon replied, since you hurt your employer, we will hurt you here. The Lord said this is what this man has done in his workplace. He was working and was paid $800 of salary. Then one day he stole a wheel lock of the company and took it home. Since this object belonged to the company, he was not supposed to take it home without authorization. He was an employee who was supposed to behave according to the contract that is between the company and the employees. Since he was taking home things that belonged to the company, I saw that wheel lock that he took home attached to him. He told these demons, I acknowledge what I have done, but take this wheel lock and give it back to his owner. This man was taking things from the workplace to his home though he was well paid, and he has lost his soul forever because of a wheel lock that cost nothing in comparison to his salary. For I am feeling very well now. I want to thank people that had prayed for me in this difficult period of recovery from poisoning. May the Lord bless you greatly. It was really tough. I decided to stand here and deliver the message the Lord had put in my heart. If you love me, I want to ask you to carry your cross and join me in the suffering for the Lord. Some people wrote to me, how come a servant of God like you is poisoned? But the truth is evil fall on the righteous and the Lord always deliver them. If you love God, you will go through tests and trials. We must keep trust in the Lord. I cannot hate those who poison me and my wife on our wedding day. I have the obligation of loving them, for love surpasses all things. I could not die of that poisoning because I had not finished the 251 chambers of hell, and I cannot